the underworld. I was exhausted, trying to get up to pull the blanket over my legs despite the creaking of my spine. I love winter even though it makes me physically and mentally miserable. It is hard to have a real winter in Saigon. For the past week, I have been sleeping soundly in bed, letting the world collapse beneath my feet, letting 152 Vietnamese tourists escape in Taiwan, a whole group of Vietnamese tourists get bombed in Egypt, a tropical depression is making landfall, my mother's nagging or just the meowing of my cat asking for affection. You texted me asking what I thought about those events. I could only read the message and continue my journey to bury my head in sleep, not knowing what else to say when my head is empty, truly empty. There were times when I wanted to turn myself into a vegetable, just lying there and breathing in the remaining air in the shabby, dilapidated house we were living in. I was tired of wiping and catching every drop of rainwater seeping through the roof, tired of the tragedy of water rushing into the house, sitting like frogs on lotus leaves, waiting for a peaceful sleep. I was struggling, not knowing how to tear apart my current life, to move on to a new, better page. I tried my best to earn money from things I wasn't very interested in. If I didn't do it, if I didn't like it, I would starve, but if I jumped in, would life be better? I was helpless and useless. I just wanted to lie there, digest myself, eat myself up and die with every breath. The message rang and once again, he pulled me out of the sticky, dark emotions that surrounded me. If I didn't look at my phone, I wouldn't have known if the sun had risen yet, because my room was surrounded by stained walls. The recent flood had caused the lime to fall off in white flakes like duck eggshells. The water receded, leaving me with a pile of books that smelled musty. The room had no windows, no light, no life. Watchman. I just wandered around like Nam Chow's famine corpses, indifferently watching the clock hands move slowly and heavily. It was so wonderful that I was living and experiencing the lives of me, Ho, and Chi, living with the pain they had gone through, living like a person in the underworld. He, a man with many ambitions and ambitions. This morning, at only 5 a.m., he was already at the center of Vung Tau City to run communications for the company's project. He took pictures and sent me the activities of the people in the early morning, the silvery fish struggling under the net, the scene of the dawn on the sea, the scene of round baskets floating on the waves. I miss him 10 parts, I envy him 8 parts because of the energy he has, while right now, around me, there is only darkness. Once again, he sent me a bit of life for the new day. I jumped up, did my personal hygiene, and quickly put on a thin shirt. I wanted to struggle hard, tearing apart the terrible things that had been embracing my body for the past few days. The way I chose was to run to a familiar cafe, find a seat by the window, and quietly watch the hustle and bustle of life. I ran away from my ego, ran away from my own home to look back at myself. Ordering myself a cup of hot chrysanthemum tea, I began to drift off into dreams by the romantic window and the love song of my familiar shop. Saigon is so strange this year. It rains in winter. Looking at the raindrops falling on the leaves, I thought summer had come. Thousands of memories rushed into my head, struggling to the point of suffocation. Outside the window are the lush green leaves of the golden scorpion plant, a plant that people often compare to the king of flowers because of its regal yellow color. They are so proud, yet back then, how could we, children, have the heart to pick the flowers, smash them and prepare horrible dishes for ants and insects? What I remember most when talking about golden scorpions are the small butterflies. It was not until later, when I grew up, thanks to Google, that I learned that they are called cabbage butterflies. They are a small butterfly covered in a light white-green color like young leaves, without any patterns or bright colors to decorate their wings. They are simple, innocent and strangely fragile. On sunny days, they often fly a lot on the yellow scorpion trees, creating a very poetic scene. That image still haunts me when I think back to my childhood memories. The girl sitting behind said in a very soft voice, "Sister, do you have any tissues? Can I have one?" I turned around to look at her. A little girl about 8 years old wearing a white dress was smiling, waiting for an answer. In her hand was an old Canon camera. "No, I don't have any," I replied and turned my face up to continue letting my soul follow the raindrops falling by the window. In just a short moment, I realized that the girl had a bright smile with teeth as even as corn. Her short hair was as fluffy as clouds drifting on a beautiful sunny day. She approached the window where I was sitting. She raised the camera to eye level, pointed the lens at the scenery outside through the window. Suddenly, she turned to me and took a picture. The sudden flash of light blinded me to the point of discomfort. "What are you doing?" I was annoyed. "Take a picture of me," she said and smiled as if nothing had happened. She came closer and showed me the picture she had just taken. "Am I beautiful?" I looked at the camera screen. The bare chairs in the shop were so boring. On the table was still the cup of tea I was drinking, but where was I? I looked up at her. I was still in shock. Then she gave me a gentle smile. The bottom of her eyes were as clear as the puddles out there, the sky, and the yellow scorpion leaves swaying in the cold winter rain. "Where am I?" I screamed in my mind. She ran back to her desk, leaving me in a state of shock and fear. Had my eyes been buried in dreams for so long that I couldn't find myself? Strange, had I seen a ghost or had I ceased to exist in this world? Impossible, I reassured myself. The old Canon camera she wore around her neck made her look like a journalist, a professional photographer. But wait, she was only about 8 years old. Who were she? I turned around to look for an answer, but I couldn't see her anywhere. Where she was sitting, I only saw a cabbage butterfly spreading its pure wings and flying out the window while the rain had not stopped yet. Where am I in that photo? Where am I in this deserted cafe, in this life? And who are you? Are you that pure butterfly residing in that vast sky? The melodious music in the cafe was suddenly replaced by the sound of prayers, sounding sad and endless.